with B-Bad and Brandon.
Hey, we started. I'm on the other side of the couch today. How exciting. Is this your first podcast?
It is my first podcast.
I like to joke and pretend it's mine, but it's not.
Well, you're always going to start somewhere.
Yeah, I think we're up to 200 and something now. I don't know.
That's pretty cool.
Normally Brando sits here. I don't know how he sits here. I don't like this spot. You got my seat today. That's all right. Now we have Mr. Nilesh with us. Welcome to the Platform Podcast. I know you're obviously an avid listener and you listen to everything every podcast we've ever done, and you know exactly the format that we follow. And you have many favorite episodes, of course. So you will know the next thing I'm going to ask you is the only real question I have, and that is 21 sounds, who you are and what you do. And I count them.
Yeah, is that right?
Are you ready to be counted?
Okay. My name is Nilesh Singh. I am the, CEO, founder of a company called Niltech. I'm a father of two girls. I am born and raised in Fiji.
That's it. Done.
Okay, done.
That's all you get.
Yep.
I think you went over too. But I think all that stuff's pretty cool.
Yep.
Like born and raised in Fiji to now living in Brisbane, founder of a IT company, mid-40s.
Yeah, mid-40s.
There's a hell of a lot that's happened to go from Fiji and owning a IT company in your mid-40s in Brisbane and travelled a bit, because I know that as well about you. That's a big one.
It is. So, as you may know, that Fiji went through a bit of a political upheaval in the late 80s, early 90s. So, in 2000, when you would have
been a kid then.
Yeah, I was just out of uni.
Yep.
I would have been 24. I just got married.
Yep.
And so they had the big civil coup, and life had changed quite dramatically. We had lost our salaries. We didn't have enough people working, and it was a tremendous time for a very small country. So we decided to migrate. Yeah. Yeah. And so
was that an easy decision?
Well, eventually it wasn't a choice. We just had to do it. We were born and raised in Fiji. We were, I guess from our point of view, I see more myself as a Pacific Islander than someone of sort of Indian. I'm a fourth generation Fijian Indian. So my grandfather came in.
Yep.
My grandfather is a cane farmer.
Yep.
So we come from the land. My father was an educator. He was a teacher, and then was the headmaster of a pretty prominent primary school in Fiji.
Cool.
And then so we went through the education system there, and we managed to get out through the education system once we had the experience. So in 2000, I moved here. Came with 942 Australian dollars.
Wow. What's that in like Fiji dollars in that time?
So before the devaluation, the Fijian dollar was pretty strong.
Yep.
So that would have been sort of very much at parity.
Yep.
The only reason I know is in those days when you had to go and get foreign currency, they have to physically write it in your passport.
Really?
That's how they were doing exchange control in those days.
Jesus.
So Thomas Cook, you go in, they look at your passport, your visa, and then you have to get clearance from the the Reserve Bank that you're moving overseas, and they stamp it and say, "There you go." So
here's your $900.
$942 I came with. Got off the plane in February of 2000.
Yep.
2000. Straight to work.
Damn. Were you nervous coming here with $942, or
I was absolutely shitting myself.
Yeah. You didn't have kids yet?
No kids. We just got married in April of the following year.
Yep.
April, May, and sort of all that thing sort of transpired.
Yep.
And then I came here in Feb. The good thing was someone hired me. So I was recruited to come and work for a company in Brisbane. So I walked in, someone else, at least someone was there to pick me up at the airport.
Yeah, nice.
And take me straight to the customer side.
Yeah.
So that happened in February 2000. Viveka, my wife, joined me in March.
Yep.
And we were renting in a place in Auckland Flower. Absolutely loved Auckland Flower.
Nice area.
Nice area, so we kind of settled there. And work was good. And life kicked in, how you start focusing on the career, trying to make sure, you have all the prerequisites of not getting kicked out of the country.
Yeah.
So you got to go through that whole migration process.
Certainly, you're here because you want to be here. You don't want to go back.
No, so going back wasn't an option.
Yeah.
I am the eldest of a family of 5 boys.
Yep.
So, there was a lot of pressure to don't come back.
Yeah, you need to go and do well over there.
Yeah, so I joined the company doing consulting in the similar sort of field of what I do now.
Yep.
And then worked my way up to sort of being a principal consultant in that business. We were doing work in PNG, Fiji, Sydney, Brisbane, just the local.
Yep.
And then in 2003, we had Heddle.
Yeah,
we decided, cool. Those days, 60% of my pay went back to Fiji.
Yeah, well, helping out family.
Yeah, so there was still a dependency because I'm the eldest. By the time 2003 kicked in and Heddle was born, then my 2 other brothers came out of university and were earning, and so the family. So we come from a, for lack of a better word, hard times of, poverty, 1 income and 7 kids.
Yeah.
So 6 kids. And the parents.
Yeah.
In 2003, Heather was born.
Yep.
And in 2000, when she was 2-3 months old, we moved to New Zealand. I was hired to Fonterra, which is New Zealand Milk now.
Yep.
Or Fonterra now, it was New Zealand Milk. I had this massive project, and I moved to New Zealand to work on that project.
Yeah, wow.
So straight from...
still chasing opportunity, just looking for the next challenge.
Just, career and, just focusing on trying to sort of grow in that career path, and still doing the same thing. So the challenge was going from, the average 25, 27 degrees to 6 degrees. So we flew from Brisbane to Dunedin.
Damn.
Yeah. And then I was based in Dunedin for a year and a half.
Yep.
Then I got transferred to Christchurch.
Yeah.
So do some work in the Christchurch office. And in 2007, we moved to Auckland.
Yeah, well.
By now, Heddle was 5.
Yeah. And
then Srishti was born in Auckland in 2000.
So technically, she's Kiwi.
She's a Kiwi, yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It's an interesting battle when the All Blacks play the Wallabies in my household.
Yeah.
It's even worse battle when Fiji plays, So Srishti was born in 2008, and we came back to Brisbane in 2008 and settled here. And in 2000, so we went through the process. I was still then I started contracting for myself.
Yeah, nice.
And then 2009, I was hired by Tech One.
Yeah, the giant.
Yeah, so
we've had the big boy Ed on here and a couple other T1 individuals over our time.
Yep,
they are a machine.
Yes, they are actually. And then in 2011, we bought our place up in River Hills in Mount Omni there, west side of Brizzy.
Geez, that must have been a cool moment buying a place, like coming here from $940, and in that time now you've bounced around the country, you've gone to another country to work, and you've saved your pocket money up essentially, and now got yourself a place. That's unreal.
Yeah, so it was. We felt that the girls needed a little bit more stability.
Yep.
At the time, they were sort of in that age group of primary primary school.
Yeah, starting to build friendships.
Yeah, and I've been very fortunate that I have my core group of friends that I had in Fiji that sort of grew up with me or I made in university, moved to Brisbane as well.
Was that sort of a common thing for the guys and girls in your age group when all that was going on? Yep. They were all getting out of here and and looking for work over this way and overseas.
So Australia had a huge demand for the accountant/IT people at that time.
Yeah, right.
And so most of the guys that I went to university with they just moved at the same time.
Saw
they were
the
all
opportunity
here,
and went, let's go.
Yeah, so we all ended up sort of living in the same vicinity, sort of that Oxley, River Hills area. So that was pretty good, and it was really quite refreshing. And the kids all went sort of to the same school.
Yeah.
So my kids grew up with some good friends, family friends. So that was in 2011, and then my career took off at Tech One.
Yeah.
So I went through the reins and ended up being what they used to call the associate consulting director for Queensland.
Yeah.
So I looked after all the existing business for the Queensland customers in the consulting business.
Yep.
And then on the back of that, I got promoted to look after Asia Pac.
Oh, wow.
So Southeast Asia Pacific. So that's everything apart from Australia, New Zealand, UK. That's everything sort of the rest of the world. So we had
Everything
an office
else.
up in KL.
Yep.
In Malaysia, and we had an office in Port Moresby.
Oh.
So for about 18, 22 months, I just traveled. So,
wow. So you got to go to PNG?
Yeah. So every month to 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, there'd be a trip to KL and then a trip to Port Moresby. We had about 4 people in KL and probably 6, 7 in Moresby. So it wasn't a big team, but enough to warrant it.
What's the working like in Port Moresby? It'd be a lot of moving parts in a country like that.
Yeah, so when I first moved to Australia, I did do some work in Moresby through my old jobs. So it wasn't too much of a shock, but it's a very different world out there.
Yeah.
It's very different. It's settled a lot now since the last visit I've been. And we've since done more work there as a business. And that's, I guess there's been a lot more stability with the government there all sorted. But yeah, when I used to go there, it was the Wild West.
Yeah, would have been.
Yeah, so you always had security with you, and
Yeah.
So I used to generally get in and out 3-4 days more.
Just minimum.
Yeah, so
it's a wild concept to think that you have to go around town with security.
Yeah, so we had one of the guys used to drive us around, and we were driven into compounds and a hotel, and it was a different concept.
Yeah, you're not just going for a walk on the street.
Right, and then the week before you were in KL, which is like
the completely opposite.
Completely opposite. So, but it was a fantastic experience, experiencing multiple cultures.
Yep.
From a personal point of view, meeting new people.
Yeah.
People who have become lifelong friends now, right? In fact, it's through that connection that I've ended up at Fortitude Barbell.
Yeah.
So Peter Gill was the first guy who sent me to KL.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, he's the guy who said, we got an opportunity, and looks like we might need you to go up there.
You'd be a good fit for it.
Yeah. So has always been a big influence and a big supporter of my career.
Yep.
At Tech One, and lifelong friend.
Yep.
Will always be, and he started advocating Fortitude Barbell 18 months before I joined. So he sent me the T-shirt, the green T-shirt, and he said, "Oh, look, you gotta meet Johnny." And I said, "Okay."
Speaks the good gospel of Fortitude in the barbell.
Yes, he does, and it still took me like a good 3-4 months to get in touch when I moved back. So I spent in sort of a couple of years looking after the region, and then in 2016 there was an opportunity to go down to Melbourne.
Yeah, wow.
So Technology One, Melbourne is one of Victoria, the state of Victoria is a big.
That's a bit of a hub for Australia.
Yeah, 186 customers. 62 consulting staff.
Yep.
Yeah, so it was a
lot of business and stuff down that way.
It is, absolutely, and a lot of a good variety. There's a lot of your larger enterprise customers, so the likes of the universities and the hospitals. But at the same time, you have your little ones like the non-for-profits and aged care facilities.
Tech One's got software for everyone.
They do. Yeah, they operate in 7 verticals. They have a very good presence. So Victoria is quite funny. It has a very sort of segmented local council. So you find a local council in 5 to 10 kilometer radius. So here you got Brisbane, and then you have Ipswich, right?
Yeah.
There you'll have.
Yeah, they got a little ones.
Yeah, you got Stonington, and then 5 minutes that way is City of Port Phillip, and 5 minutes Kingston.
Yeah.
Oh, I learned a very valuable lesson. My parents were visiting.
That's confusing.
and we were going through the beachfront, right? So we parked the car, we paid the parking.
Yeah.
And said, that's cool. And we thought we could use the same parking ticket about 5 k's down the road.
Different city.
Yep. He said, you got to get it again and again and again until you reach Frankston. So there's about 3 or 4 councils, and they're all Tech One customers. Oh, sorry.
Oh, lovely.
They're all Tech One customers.
Yeah.
It was a great experience. It was big business. There was a lot of challenges. There were some big projects, 62 staff, the ability, to sort of run a bigger business. But with opportunities comes, challenges. So in 2017 of March, I decided to leave Tech One.
Yeah, wow.
I guess
to go solo.
Well, I did at the time. I just wanted a break. So what I guess my background with Tech One is I've implemented the software.
Yeah.
So I haven't come in sort of in a management capacity or leadership role. I came from the bottom up, so I know how to implement the software. So when I left in 2017, I decided to take some time off, and it's just getting with chaos. 20-hour days. We're driven by a very strong demand for making numbers and all this.
They just want that share price to go up.
They've done very well. So in 2017, I left.
Yeah.
When I left, I had no views. I was going to spend some time with my family.
Yeah.
My health had taken a bit of a tumble. I had put on 25 kilos.
Yeah.
There's a lot of alcohol consumption.
Yeah.
And bugger all sleep.
Yeah. That consultant travel life's hard.
Yeah, we used to live off a suitcase.
Yeah.
When the girls were a little younger, it was quite fascinating.
Yep.
But then they were, transitioning from primary to high school, and kind of made me, wanted to stay and see that.
You want to watch that journey?
Yeah, absolutely. So Hedel finished her year 12 in Melbourne. And she finished primary school.
Yep.
Moved to high school. I guess so. In 2017, we started Niltech Consulting, which is a sort of a boutique consulting business, helping mostly Tech One customers around implementing or getting the best out of their software investment.
Was that always the plan, do you think, just to set something up small for yourself?
The idea was not to get back to the idea was to introduce a proper work-life balance.
Yeah, nice.
Right, give a focus to family, give a focus to health, and not only my family. I also had my dad, and my dad was around, my mom, and just they were aging, and just keeping tabs on that as well. Being being the eldest son, it all fell on me.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then in 2017 of March. There were customers who knew me and they knew my background and they just started calling me.
Yeah. The phone was ringing.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck, hang on a minute.
Said,
we're getting busy.
So I said, look, he said, can you get on the tools? I said, yeah, I can get on the tools. So in March to about August, I did 3 shifts in a day. So I started my day sort of 4:30 in the morning, 4 to sort of, 11, and then 11 to about 4, and then 4 to, and it was just 20-hour days.
Jesus.
Well,
some food, some sleep.
Yeah, it was like failure wasn't an option, I suppose.
But when you start your own thing, that's kind of what it is, right?
Yeah, and Vika did ask me, my wife. Yeah. So what's the backup plan? I said, well, we just have 2. If it doesn't work out here, you go back to Brisbane. Yeah. If it doesn't work out in Brisbane, we're back in Suva.
Something will work there.
So that was the backup plan. But, thankfully, there was a lot of value people saw in the service.
Yep. But when you don't, that was kind of a backup plan. But when you don't have like a backup plan, you also create a little bit more hunger, right? Like you got to fucking do it.
Yeah. There's no,
There's no not doing it.
Yeah. And so just of a side story, we always thought about doing something. So Gus and I, Gus Amai is my business partner. And I've known him from Tech One for a very long time. I used to have a car park. He used to have a car. Yeah. So he used to drop me home every afternoon when I was based in Brisbane. Yep. So we always spoke. So he was there from day 0 or day -1. Yeah. So Gus helped me quite a bit in structuring how we move from me doing 3 shifts to bringing people on board, onboarding customers, and then trying to make it a more sustainable business. Yeah. So
it's the big challenge that all business has, right? From the small bit, you almost have to do 20-hour days so you can earn the income, so then you can afford to pay someone to come in.
It's a vicious cycle, isn't it? Yeah. So in August of 2017, or not August. We started in August, but by September we signed a pretty large deal.
Yeah, nice.
The first one.
Yeah, geez, that must have felt good.
It was a substantial. It was a really, really big deal, and that's when it was shit hit the fan and said like, you can't do it.
You can't do all of that. You're only one.
So that's when we started recruiting, and we the guys came on board, and sort of that's how Niltech was formed, and then sort of and we have great relationship. I'll tell you one thing I must say: Technology One as an organization has been the great. It teaches you how to go out there and live in the real world. It is not. I didn't based on my other experience. It's not your traditional, corporate. It is quite an hybrid. It does prepare you for the real world. In terms of the way you learn things and the way you have to deal with. 20 priority ones, right?
Yeah. Everything's important. Everyone's important.
Important, yeah. Your customers, and then your bosses, and then your staff.
Yeah.
So Niltech was formed, and then from 2018, it took good form. We hired more people. People that I know from my previous work at Tech One, they moved across. Yeah, and then 2019 of July, my dad passed away.
Yeah, that's
so that was came out of nowhere.
Oof.
It just my dad was a heart patient.
Yeah.
But he collapsed while refereeing his grandson's soccer game, so he went the way he probably would have wanted to.
Yeah, right.
So
he was happy in doing something he enjoyed and loved.
Yeah. It was funny. My mom used to say he never wanted to take my nephew to the soccer.
Yep.
And that day he was up and said, "Oh, I'm taking Shiv to the soccer."
Yep.
I said, "Oh, okay." And then he was refereeing, and he collapsed, and he passed away in the soccer field. So, and then
he loved soccer.
He was very good. He was always with kids, and he had coached a few soccer teams through the primary school.
Yep.
So 2019, and then Feb 2020, my brother got very ill. My younger brother. So we had to go. I had to go back to Fiji and sort of sort that out, and he passed away in Feb. So sort of within 8 months. So we had a fairly rough patch.
Big family shift.
Family stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we dealt with that. I must say, I always make a point of saying that a traditional Indian bereavement is just full on.
It's a heavy tone.
Yeah, you got to shave your hair. You got to isolate yourself if you're doing the whole funeral thing. It goes for 13 days.
13 days.
13 days, and
is that based around a particular religion as well?
Yeah, it's a Hinduism. It's a Sanatan side of the Hindu religion, which is very heavily practiced in Fiji. So it's 13 days, and I'll share some pictures. So you get dressed in white, and wow. And and you have to take charge, right?
You're the oldest.
Yeah, and like every family, I'm sure every family has it. There's always the vultures around, and when there's chaos, right? So you got to get that. So that happened, and then my brother, so that was challenging.
Yeah, I bet.
Because we had to deal with
two in a short space of time.
Yeah, and then COVID hit.
Yeah, next challenge.
Yeah, so we managed. So I think I got in back a week before they locked it all down. So while we were still dealing with the challenges of loss, we had to deal with COVID.
Yeah. And was there a shift in business as well, or did it?
To the contrary,
or was it more opportunity?
Our business grew in COVID because a lot of there was a lot more demand for some of those digital services to come in quicker.
Yeah. Could you see that the opportunity was going to exist? And you're like, let's fucking get around it, or just it came towards
hit us. And I said, "Oh, we'll take it." So
yeah,
we didn't get any subsidies from the Australian government, unfortunately. No. So we got into lockdown. Lockdown was tough. Victoria,
you were proper lockdown.
Yeah, proper lockdown. Melbourne suffered quite significantly, and we were in the middle of it. So sort of the 2019, 2020.
What was it like to run a business in that time, where you'd previously travelled and moved around a bit more to see customers and stuff.
We implemented the whole remote, because it was everyone was doing the same, the customers were doing the same, we were doing the same, so it was okay. The challenge was that we had the girls at home as well, right?
Yeah, which a lot of people had their kids at home, right?
Yeah, so at 8:45 or 8:40, Dad, the internet's down. Like, what?
Fuck.
So I had to deal with that.
Yeah. Now you've got another number one priority on the list.
Correct, and there were two of them.
So two more number ones.
Yeah. and then you get this little text message from the school. Oh, Srishti wasn't in class today. Like, I know she was in class. She was there.
Yeah, I was here. I was next
to her. And then so all the automated. But we went through that, and that sort of
all of a sudden you became a teacher too.
Yeah, well, my wife was an emergency worker, so she was always in her school.
Oh, so she was already there.
Yeah. And then my mom was living with us at the time because she was caught in Australia during the whole of COVID.
So she couldn't go back home if she wanted to.
Yeah, and she's a high risk, right? So we had to, just be so careful.
Oh.
So when we got out of COVID, when it all opened up, Hedel had just finished high school. And so the question came, are we going to make Melbourne home or are we going to move back? And we just felt that we had a lot more support here.
Brisbane's always felt like a home.
Always has been.
Yep.
So in 2022, January, we moved back. So the last 12 months have been sort of, setting people up here, and the girls have settled in with the school. Vika's gone back to her job. So, and I've been sort of, working through the business and, becoming a powerlifter at the same time. That's in April. So it's been an interesting journey.
What's it like moving a business from Melbourne to Brisbane?
So we didn't move the head office. We kept it there.
Yep.
So I had relocated before. I was doing the numbers this morning. I've lived in 7 cities and 3 countries.
In how long?
22 years. 22 years. Yeah.
One every 3 years.
One every 3 years. So Suva, Brisbane, Dunedin, Christchurch, Auckland, Brisbane, Melbourne, and then back.
Jesus.
Yeah, you got to give it to Vivek and the girls. They are a lot more patient, and she said to me, if you weren't going to do Melbourne, you will always regret it.
Yeah.
And I think as starting a business, I think Melbourne's a slightly bigger town to do it.
Yeah.
So the
more people, more customers,
more opportunity.
Yeah. More opportunity.
It would have been a lot harder doing it here. So it's the relocation wasn't that bad.
Yep.
Because we'd done it before, and So, but I don't think we're gonna move anyway.
No, you're done.
No, we're done. We're absolutely done.
Yep.
Unless, of course, Fiji gets its shit together, then we might move back there for retirement.
Okay. Could you see yourself back there for like a retirement style thing, or?
So when my brother was sick, we went through the public medical or the infrastructure system, and it needs a lot of work.
Yeah,
you don't want to get sick there.
You don't want to be older there. Then.
Correct. So whilst it's a vicious cycle, right? Like the girls are going to finish school in a couple of years and they'll be settled. But as you age, you get your challenges with medical and stuff, and they still need to do a bit of work around that.
Yeah.
So I don't. So I'll visit and perhaps do business with the guys there, but I would struggle to live there.
Maybe holidays.
Yeah, it's a great holiday destination.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we also set up a few other business through the journey to try and supplement the current organization. So we've got about 4 entities that we run right now.
Yeah.
Doing various different things. Core business is sort of Niltech, which is more sort of that technology one advisory service. But we also have a slightly smaller ERP business that does what we call NetSuite product. And then we have 2 other advisory business that does very, very specific things around, when we have things like IFRS 16 come up and a few others. So so we went from 0 in 2017 to the group has about 20 odd people.
That's exceptional growth in
it was
6 years.
Yeah, so between the subbies and all, but most of these guys I've known for most of my life through connections.
So just handpicking the people you want. to work with.
Yeah, and then just trying to empower them to do the same. I guess our biggest challenge, we're going through a bit of a restructure now. People have decided they want to go a different path. And with that comes slightly different challenges. So we're just working through that right now. Gus is very heavily involved. I'm more focused on delivery. He's sort of running the more operational commercial side of it. But hopefully in the next 6 odd months, we'll have that better down and have processes in place.
As a leader in your business, do you try and teach the people that now work for you the things that you learnt when you went through in their position? The big thing being around that work-life balance.
Yeah, so we are very, very clear that that is our, if you're working more than, 8 to 10 hours a day, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Either you have mixed the expectations with the delivery of what you're doing, or you have, there's poor time management. Something's not right. Because, that's the core value or the core, I guess, crux of most of what we're trying to do is get away from that. People working 20-hour days. Now, having said that, there will be times.
Sometimes you got to do it.
You got to do it. Like, we got two major projects that's going to probably go live at the same time. It's going to be chaos.
So that'll be on.
Yeah. So that's it, but it'll start a bit now. Sort of, people coming back from leave and holidays and trying to get ramp that up. So, but it should settle. And then so. Big focus on my health this year. Yeah,
that's super exciting. Like to hear you, picking up the reins to focus on yourself and your own health as well. Because the thing I always talk to people about it, you are your business too. So like, if you get sick and underdone,
Well, I now we were sort of in this recruitment phase, and I try and explain to everyone my Wednesdays. On Wednesdays I train with you, and I see Ken, and then I have a bit of free time, to catch up with, whether it's playing with Kendra and then I pick up the bit work from sort of 11:30. I might have to catch up a little bit later, but I don't, unless I'm traveling or I'm very sick that Wednesday. So I was just trying to explain that to our staff that,
this is how it works.
No, as long as you're delivering what you have been engaged to do, that's what matters. That's what matters. Communicate and tell it, and then get back to people. And if you say you're going to get back to them, get back to them. So we're trying to demonstrate that a little bit more work-life balance.
Well, we need to get a bit more powerlifting within your workforce, within your team. They need to be under the barbell.
Thinking, well, my two girls are in the gym.
Absolutely.
I'm very, very, very pleased about that. I've been very fortunate that they enjoy it.
Well, I think they see it in you because, I get the opportunity to train them as well. But I'll always remember one of my clients told me about a study, and I wish I could quote it and tell more about it. But he essentially said, as a parent, if you demonstrate time looking after your health and fitness and like all things you demonstrate to your child, whether they pick it up at the time, at some point in their life, they are more likely to pick up and put importance around their health and their training and continue to do something for themselves. Your two have just seen you do it and see how well you do it and how much you enjoy it, and they're just doing it now straight away, which is so cool. And then, no doubt, if they stop playing with the barbell and do something, fitness and training will always be a part of their life.
But I think it also coming. So that's sort of my journey from Fiji to here in the business. But this last 12 months or the last 8 months has been quite significant because if you come into our household, we have more Fortitude barbell t-shirts than any other sporting equipment and that's huge. We come from Melbourne where we used to play all other sports, right? So that's a focus. So everyone needs to get out by the house by 8:30, otherwise we won't make the 9 o'clock. So it's even my wife has gotten behind the girls. Ooh,
so cool. You're right, bro.
So sorry about that.
You're on. Got an alarm.
It's 12 o'clock.
Don't forget.
They're all idiots to get off my ass. I have 3 because sometimes when you start working, you just get so you forget to get up.
Yeah.
So that just tells me to get. The only thing is get up. So I have one at 7 in the morning, 12, and then 7 in the afternoon.
Yeah, nice.
But the girls have have really gotten behind it. It's the you go to things like people, attract like people. Right?
Yep.
We have been very fortunate. The gym has been a great source of support, a refuge, and more importantly, it's a community of very, very good people. Right. So I think for that you should be congratulated, because if you go to commercial gyms and you see no one even talks to each other.
Yeah.
And the girls have been and they will in the future show that the learnings of that as they grow older.
That's the thing I love for kids in our gym, and you see it in any like community-based style gym, is all of a sudden these early teens or even later teens are now engaging and interacting with adults of different backgrounds, and they're starting to learn and see things which if they didn't go to a gym like we have or another gym, they wouldn't get that exposure to all these different people that do all these different things. They're just around their peers within their school.
Yeah, and there's also that focus that you said, right? There's a comp, I think a comp brings out a lot of positive in a lot of people.
Yeah,
I can only talk about myself. I mean, I remember you telling me we're gonna do something left field last year. That was really good. It was 3 comps. It was great. I'm sure I've said this to you. One of my best experience has been that trip to Adelaide.
Yeah,
doing that competition.
Yeah.
So and I think the guys in the office are now starting to see me get more into this whole fitness routine, and then getting into the gym. So hopefully that rubs off.
Yeah, and I'm sure I'd already know the answer, but you would feel like you perform better with your day-to-day work and your sharpness and ability to perform with your role in your business because you're fit, healthy, and strong, and that would just be unreal.
Mate, I tell you, I traveled when I was a big guy.
Yep,
it's not nice.
Yeah,
it's in a plane like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So you gotta, those things sort of, and then as you grow older, and you see the kids coming through, you just want to probably set a bit better example.
Yeah.
And so and the staff I started, the team inside Niltech see it. And I suppose hopefully it rubs on them as well.
Yeah,
I do encourage it.
Yep.
If there's something that they want to do from a sporting perspective.
Yep.
So like I said, we're all adults.
Yep.
You manage your time. As long as you're delivering the.
I think that's cool. That thing being able to encourage the guys that work for you to do it. And I know I see through a few clients that they have somewhere built into their contract somewhere in the bigger organizations that even has leave allowance for elite level sport.
Yep.
So which nationals can be considered elite level sport, and they get to use their sick leave because your sick leave can be used for grievance and all kinds of things, not just parent care leave or stuff, not just care leave, but they can access that to use towards their sporting endeavors. Which I think that's cool to see. Like everyone's
and we support that. We were a bit more, I suppose, agile in because we're a slightly smaller organization. We can help. So hopefully, I know one of our guys participated in the I can't remember. It's the cycling that they do from Adelaide to Perth.
Oh yeah.
So we sponsored that. He had some. Some jerseys and had the Niltech logo.
Logo on there.
Yep. So where we can, we try and encourage it because I think that really helps with enhancing their performance at work.
100%.
So
if they're fit, strong, and healthy, that's less sick days.
Yeah, true. Although with COVID, we everyone just don't get sick, man.
Yeah. That would have been a nervous time though. Like the maybe more of an impact to you would be the fact that someone does go down sick in that time, and you still got to meet deadlines to perform.
Yeah, and I think it was, and there were some projects that were non-negotiable because of the consequence of not making it.
Yep.
But we were pretty fortunate that we got COVID to the back end of it. And a lot of it had settled down.
Yep.
The worst was when customers would have COVID. Like we had a project we were working on with a reasonable sized business, and like 80% of the accounting stuff went What we're gonna do? Nothing. We're gonna reschedule.
Damn.
So that was and the other thing was when it opened up, we were a little bit cautious around. We didn't want someone getting sick or being sick and going in and then
making everyone else sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot better now.
Yeah.
In terms of we have the good balance.
Yep.
We do. Customers are starting to demand us to be a little bit more present.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'm always curious with some of the guys that have businesses or their working business that used to travel. Is there that demand to have you come back and go and see and visit and be in front of them, or do you think customers are enjoying the flexibility that comes with more, video calls and stuff?
So I guess more of our federal government customers want us. They're back. So customers based out of so the ACT.
Yep.
Some of our council customers are. But they're still, I would say, 60% still doing remotely.
Yep.
But you can see that there has been, particularly when you're running training and things where they want a bit more interaction.
Yep.
So we're starting to see that change. We're getting back into the office.
Yeah, but I imagine that online space is now going to always be a part of the business, right?
I think it will always be an option of some sort. Yeah. So, I mean, I was talking to my daughter. I mean, I said, is uni or TAFE going to still remote? I said, oh, no, Dad, looks like we're going to be all going back.
Yep.
But there may be, if you are sick or if you need to be in isolation, then you may have.
You click a button, you're online all of a sudden.
Yeah, otherwise kind of discrimination, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sick, I'm just isolating.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a great concept. I know even for myself as a coach, like the ability to now play in an online space and being forced to play in it and now use it and grow and develop it. Now you've just got this whole new business that's available to you, and there's another way of reaching and touching and working with clients.
Yeah, that's actually very exciting.
Yeah, it's super exciting.
Yeah.
Like I finish with you, I do a FaceTime session with a guy in Kingscliff. We train for an hour. He's got a home bench, got a chin-up rack and a few other bits and bobs, and he's got this movable camera that tracks his head.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and he just tracks his little head around, and we train, and sometimes the camera switch off, and I'm like, Jace, your fucking camera.
He's like, Kingscliff is a nice place to live, man.
Oh, yeah, bro. And I get it. When he moved down there, I went and visited him. I was like, the beach is there. All right, cool. We're doing remote forever now. You're never coming back.
Nice place, yeah. So... Yeah, so no, look, it's been a great journey. I mean, look, we've learned a few things. It has been tough.
Yeah.
But we are grateful. We live in a great country. I think that's one thing that I'm very grateful for.
Yeah.
We have good, simple thing as clean water. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, coming from Fiji, you've seen what not simple and not easy looks like.
And just having good medical facilities and education. Is really, really, you got to be thankful.
Yeah, I mean, there's something simple like clean running water. Like, how many people would actually understand what that means?
Right now in Fiji, because of demands and challenges, there's certain parts of the country that have water stops. So I don't know what it is, and same with electricity.
Really, they just cut it off. You don't get it today. Between these hours, you don't get in.
Yeah, somewhere in a small print, I'm sure they've announced it. No one's read it.
Yeah. Oh, you just turn the tap on, doesn't work.
Yeah, so you got to be grateful for that.
Yeah. Every time we turn on, it works.
Yeah, and I like my rugby, and I like.
Who do you support then? If you've lived in all these bloody places, and you're born in one, so you get the opportunity to pick the winning team then.
I do, but look, I have a very strong, nostalgic view of rugby.
Yep.
I'm a Fiji. I always support Fiji everywhere Fiji plays.
Yeah.
If Fiji's not playing, there's whichever team has the most amount of Fijian players.
That's so not too bad.
In some days, that's the Wallabies.
Yeah.
It's the All Blacks. And
do you wish all the Fijians would just play for Fiji then?
We'll try. They're trying. They're trying very hard. Yep. Hopefully, they will get it. It's just such an expensive business.
Mm-hmm.
So the Drua, which is like the second layer, that they were based out of Australia during COVID. And they will produce him with the World Cup this year. Hopefully, they get the act together. So that's sort of the supporting around sports.
Yep.
But I mean, going forward, I'll see what the girls do. It's a really good story.
Yeah.
In 2012. So all was 67 families, all Fiji origin, and our kids, all Shushti and all them. Fiji played Australia A in Ballymore. They were playing in Ballymore those days. Suncorp wasn't up.
Yeah.
So we all rocked in. So, 6 families, about 30 kids and children. We're all in our Fijian jerseys.
Yeah.
And our kids are all in the Wallabies jerseys. So, national anthem.
Yeah.
We got up, sang the Fijian national anthem.
Yeah.
And all our kids got up and sang the Australian national anthem. And it was like, it was quite a surreal feeling. Like, shit, these are Australian kids.
Yeah.
But it was quite an experience.
Yeah.
So even now, you can see that with the kids when we get together and we're watching the game, and they speak support for their mother country.
Yep.
They were born here. So yeah.
So cool to see them do that, bro.
It is.
Now, my friend, towards the end, which is where we're at now, I ask you 10 random questions. All of them are thought-provoking, crazy, quickly going to be questions, so you have to think of the first thing that pops into your head.
Sure.
Question number 1, you're Neo in the Matrix. You get the red pill. You find out the truth, or the blue pill and continue not knowing?
Red pill.
Red pill. Favorite lunch item?
Fijian lovo.
What's that?
So they cook the you put chicken, put it. It's like the hangi.
Oh,
the equivalent of hangi.
Yeah.
Got to do one for you, man.
I need one of those. That sounds delicious.
Favorite food.
Favorite movie setting you would like to live in?
What's the Tom Hanks movie where he's talking to the soccer ball?
Oh, yeah.
Just up in his
That'd
showers.
be lovely. Lovely. Best advice you've ever been given?
Never give up.
Oh, I like that one. You don't have any animals, do you?
Nope. I have 2 children. I can't afford an animal.
If you had a pet, what would you like to ask it?
Ask it?
Yeah.
Probably tell me the secret to finding gold or something, or some treasure somewhere, or how do I stay young?
Yeah.
Staying young.
Would you rather a cake or a pie?
Pie.
Pie's nice. What kind of pie?
Well, I can't eat beef, so it's generally going to be one of those chicken pies.
Chicken pie's nice pie.
Yeah.
Board game or card game that you are the best at?
Monopoly. I'm good at Monopoly. Probably where I get
the money side.
Yeah, the Indian.
Are you the banker? Are you the fucking banker too,
no,
right? Hey?
I try and teach the girls, but I don't play with them anymore because it becomes pretty ugly.
Yeah. What would your next tattoo be if you got one?
So I'd need to get so I have a view of getting my Fijian heritage tribal tattoo on my right leg.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm just trying to work out the right artist to put it together.
Yeah.
Like I said, work took over, career took over. There was all these things that I wanted to do.
Mm.
And if I was living in Fiji, I probably would have.
Yeah.
But I haven't. But so once I get my health and fitness a bit under control, that would be something that
time to write a list, bro, and start crossing them off.
Yeah.
Favorite pizza item you would eat? Favorite pizza?
Chicken Supreme would be something that I would eat.
Chicken Supreme. Your favorite household cleaning task?
There cannot be a favorite household cleaning task. Man, I hate cleaning. I don't. I mean, look, I'd mop and sweep. I hated mowing. So my wife had this intuition. We have children, so we need a yard.
Yep.
So we bought this place. When the first house we bought had a big backyard.
Oh god!
And the girls always played out the front.
Yeah.
At the driveway.
Still got to mow it.
It was. I hated it.
Love it, bro, mate. That's 10 questions. We appreciate you. Me, Brando, not being here today. Unfortunately, you coming to play on the podcast. I think we'll have to get you down with a couple of the other tech heads, and we can do a deep dive on tech stuff.
We should get the Tech One guys here.
Yeah. We'll get Ed in here as well. It'd be sick. People are interested in anything tech or anything you do. Where do they find you? What's the best way to get in contact with you?
My website's www.niltech.com.au.
Yep.
That's got all the information.
Yep.
But more importantly, if someone wants to talk about business systems, just a friendly chat, just happy to have a chat. Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
We'll put that website up. I'm sure there's an email there we'll throw around there as well.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's it, brother. Thank you very much.
No, thank you.
We wave goodbye.
Oh, yeah, that way.
Thanks, bro.
Jeez. Oh.